Welcome to Multicultural Books. I'd like to share with you this beautiful story called Stolen Words, written by Melanie Florence and illustrated by Gabrielle Grimard. And it's about a little girl who asks her grandfather how to say a word in Cree, their native language. And the story that follows is poignant. She came home from school today, skipping and dancing, humming a song under her breath, clutching a dream catcher she had made from odds and ends, bits of string, plastic beads, and brightly colored feathers. Turn that off. Her glossy braids danced against her shoulders, swaying with her, black as a raven's wing. Grandpa, she asked, clutching his hand, spinning under his arm before dropping it again. How do you say grandfather in Cree? He stopped breathing for a moment, a lifetime to a 7-year-old girl. These are beautiful illustrations, by the way. He looked down at her sadly. I don't remember, he answered. I lost my words a long time ago. A frown clouded her face. How do you lose words, Grandpa? She asked. They took them away, he answered. She thought for a moment. Where did they take them? She asked. Where they took all of us, he said. Away from home, away from laughter and soft words, away from our mothers who cried for us. She reached for his gnarled hand. Who took you away, Grandpa? She asked quietly. Men and women dressed in black, talking to us with words we did not know, he answered. They reached home and sat on the stairs together. This is a sad picture there. Where did they take you, Grandpa? She asked. Away to a school that was cold and lonely, where angry white faces raised their voices and their hands when we used our words, he answered. They took our words and locked them away, punished us until we forgot them, until we sounded like them. Harsh, sharp words, so different from the sound of our beautiful ones. She touched his weathered face, tried to wipe the sadness away with her soft hands. She looked down at her lap and handed him the dream catcher that she had made for her room. You take this, Grandpa, she said. Maybe it will help you find your words again. He smiled at her, his granddaughter, and touched her innocent face, a face that had never known hard words or raised hands. He smiled and kissed her head. The next day, she skipped out of school again, smiling widely at her grandfather. She stopped in front of him and took a deep breath. Tanisi, Nemosum, she said. His eyes widened. She smiled brighter than the sun. I found your words, Grandpa, she said. She pulled a tattered, well-worn paperback out of her book bag. Introduction to Cree, it said. Oh, what a sweet granddaughter. My teacher helped me find this for you at the library. He reached for it, his hands shaking, opened it, feeling the soft, much-loved pages under his fingers. Nosissim, he whispered, granddaughter. The word felt familiar in his mouth. It felt like his home, his mother. Nosissim, that means granddaughter in Cree. He turned the pages of the book carefully. Masina Hakin, Masina Hakin, Masina Hahikan. Excuse me. Book. He turned another. Word after word. Pekisquewina. Pekisquewina. His words. Pages and pages of them. He looked at his granddaughter, his Nosisum. Thank you, Taniki, he said. See all the words swirling around like birds? There they are. Will you read to me? She asked, taking his hand in hers and leading him home. Will you teach me your words? His heart danced as he nodded, holding the book against his chest. Aww. So, in the back of the book are English translation and pronunciation of the Cree words found in the story. There are 6 Cree words in this story. And they're the same in all 3 of the major Western Cree dialects. Plains Cree, also called Nehiwawiwin. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a good job of saying that. Swampy Cree, also called Ininimowin, and Woodlands Cree, also called Nihithowewin. Okay, so here's how you say hello in Cree, and it's pronounced tanse, tanse. Tanse is the word most commonly used in greeting. We usually translate it as hello. Tanse is also the question word how. While we think hello in English, Cree is also asking, how are you? So embedded within their greeting is an ask of, how are you doing? I like that. Okay, so then grandfather, my grandfather is pronounced Nimasum. Nimasum. Nimasum means my grandfather. Your grandfather is Kimasum. His or her grandfather is Omasoma. Cree families speaking English often shorten the word to Mosum. Nosim means my grandchild. Nosim literally means my grandchild. In this book, Nosim is translated as my granddaughter. Without the pictures in context, it could also be translated as my grandson. Cree doesn't actually have separate words for granddaughter or grandson. And in Cree culture, Nosim is an affectionate way for a Cree elder to address a young person, whether they are related or not. Good to know. Okay, now I'm going to try to say this big word. Masenaigan. Okay, Masenaigan. Masenaigan. It shows you where the to syllabicate and what to put the most emphasis on. Masenaigan. Masenaigan. Okay, now I think I got it. Masenaigan can also be translated into English as letter, report, paper, document, drawing, or magazine, all depending on context. Okay, here's another big one. Pikisquaiwin. Pikisquaiwin. Pikisquaiwin is used in this book to mean language. It too can be translated into several different English words, including expression or phrase, speech, talk or conversation, lecture, or voice. Tainki, oh, interesting. So it reads like Taniki, but it's pronounced Tainki, and that means thank you. They almost sound like cognates, don't they? That means that they sound the same. Tanki and thank you. Sounds similar. Tanki is one of several ways people say thank you in Cree. This form seems to have been borrowed from English. Oh, okay. Other informal words for thanks include hey hey, mostly in Alberta, or ikosi, meaning that's good, that's enough, mostly in Manitoba. Now, you can also find a more detailed guide for this book at secondstorypress.california Kids Stolen Words. Good to know. I'm very glad that I got this book and learned more. I hope you get it too. Here it is again, so you can see it. Stolen Words.